Hey, have you ever worked at a company for a while, built a few web apps, and later on realized each web app has its own different stack that it's built in? So when you go to work on one, you have to remember, okay, this is how I talk to the database. I use this ORM. Oh, this is how I'm doing. Um, this is how I upload images, and this is how I handle media. This is how I'm doing auth. Even to the extent of this is how I'm doing states management and stuff. What if I told you there was a better way? What if I told you there was an avenue where you could actually have a base that you hot swap different things in your different projects? Maybe one project you want to use a Postgres database, another project you want to use SQLite or libsql database. Um, Maybe you want to use Cloudflare as your platform for one, but maybe you want to use throw it on Netlify or your own VPS for a different one. But to have the same core that makes it easy to go between these different apps. That's what I believe backend is. And a lot of people don't yet know about what a backend. So what I wanted to do is just give a quick, fun little overview of this tool that has grown on me a ton, and I'm pretty sold on the possibilities and things that you can do with backend. What is backend? So think about things like Supabase. Think about things like Convex, Pocketbase, Firebase, um, where they give you this backend as a service. Supabase is wonderful. You can hook into use your Supabase client SDK and get access to updating the data, doing things with storage and media. Same with kind of Convex, and the closest I would say backend is to something like Pocketbase, where you get to own it, you get to host it and store things on your own servers. Backend is your complete backend, meaning you get to bring your front end, you get to bring your database. We'll give you the backend. We'll cover the backend. So if you have a full stack app, let's say maybe it's like an Astro app or an XJS app, you have all of your routes, you have all your pages. What you can do with backend is include inside of that front end app an admin panel. So I want to show you just an example app I've built with backend. And so you can sign in. I've added you get to go in, update data inside of here. You get to create users, have media connected to buckets. So if I wanted to add this Claude Intensifies GIF, boom, is there and available to use in the backend SDK. So since I'm signed in now, I can go and create this post. Testing 1, 2, 3. It's here. I can go to the admin and I can go find it. Let's go find it at, I didn't add my created update dates, did I? Then I can say testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Update this. I go back. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's really cool that you also get your own admin panel, because if you're building internal tools or things where you usually want to change and manipulate the data, boom, backend makes it easy. One interesting thing is that you can go make backend, configure it in such a way where I can't change the schemas or the fields through here, so that everything can stay secure according to how I've coded things. Or you can say, nope, I want to use UI mode. UI mode will allow you to edit and update schemas and the data and everything through the UI. So it kind of just depends on your preference. The beautiful piece of this, when your app talks to backend, you're talking to backend, the core SDK, and you get to, that comes with auth, that comes with database management, that comes with media and file uploads and all the things like that. And then it comes with different plugins and drivers, even to the extent of email or caching assets. So if you wanted to bring in Supabase, and you want to use the Supabase ecosystem, well, plug in your Supabase database, your Postgres database, plug in your Supabase S3 bucket, and boom, you're there. If you wanted to use Railway and you wanted to use SQLite, you could throw that in. But as you're working with this, you're interfacing with the same backend, the same core backend. And so as you're querying data, even if you've hot swapped the database, you're still across, even if you're using a different database across projects, but you're using backend, you're still getting to query like this. With the same sorts of ORM, you're still authenticating in the same way. If you're sending emails, you're still sending emails in the same way through that driver. So if I'm using resend to send emails, or plunk, or maybe I want to create my own drivers so that I can send emails, there's going to be the same API way to access and send those emails. So it is a drop-in, opinionated, but also flexible framework for your backend. You can host backend in your app. You can use your favorite database provider, SQL or Postgres database provider, SQLite. Open source, free. If you want some different elements like upload file and some things that are kind of like hard and not fun to build, it comes with that. And if you want to extend backend, you can extend it. I've created my own email driver with Plunk. You can go create your email driver with the next big email. I think Bento is a platform that you could go and create one for. So what if, as you're going and creating and dreaming of making different apps over the years, but you had a core backend that made it where it didn't matter which pieces of the stack that you chose because you're still interacting with the app in the same kind of way. You're still interacting with the backend in the same kind of way. That will reduce a lot of overhead when switching context between repos. And this is something I'm just looking forward to so much. Excited to be playing with backend, excited to be learning. But I want to share this with you. I think it's a hidden secret that not many people know. It's worth looking at. Go to backend.io, test it out. Go to the Get Started docs and try out this little demo. I'd love to hear what you think about backend. Thank you for taking time to journey with me and making sure that when you have a bunch of different web apps in the future, that it's not too hard to go between them. One interesting thing too that I didn't mention is that backend has MCP built in. So you can say, hey, it's pretty much anything that backend can do in the SDK, you can do with MCP. And so if you wanted to even like set things up but interact with it through Cloud Code, you can do that. So here's a little video on all the kind of fancy things that you can do. So once you've set up your schemas and stuff, boom, you can use your MCP and manipulate data. The future is extensible. The future is, in my opinion, backend. So thanks for taking time. Excited for you to dig in.